Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, if you can hear me, please reply in YouTube chat. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. So last week we were almost finishing the first part of chapter 1 of book 3 for the Duroos Al-Lughatil-Arabiyyah, which is written by Dr. AbdurRaheem. And inshallah, we will finish part 1 today of chapter 1. And there will be like about 10 exercises of this chapter that you will have to um, do these exercises on the website. So when you will log into the website, arabiclearner.com, and if you have already registered to the website, then you need to, and after logging to the website with your username and password, you need to enroll to book 3 course. You will find on the main homepage, there will be details of book 3 course. You need to enroll to that course, and then you will be able to access the quizzes. So quizzes will be released, inshallah, within 1 hour after the class. After the class, maybe after 1 hour, the quizzes will be released. So then you can attempt and you can do the quizzes, whatever you have learned till now. So the questions will be based on whatever topics we have covered till now. So before I move on to the next topic today, I would like to again just recap what we have done last week. So we were discussing about Aqsamul Ae'rab, and I mentioned to you that there are 3 Aqsam of Ae'rab: al-Zahiru, al-Mahalliyu, and al-Taqdeeriyyu. And all the topic of Ae'rab is within this context. Okay, so it all comes under here in these categories. Now, al-Zahiru you are quite familiar with. It consists of Asliya and Far'iyya. Okay, Asliya are those words which have ending sounds. So what are the ending sounds? Al-Dhamma, Al-Fatha, and Al-Kasra. Okay, Asli are those which deals with ending sounds. Okay, now Far'iyya are those which deals with ending combinations. Okay, ending sounds, ending combinations. That's the rule that you can follow in your mind. Okay, I have been talking about Ae'rab from the previous lessons, and I was always telling you that they have ending sounds and ending combinations. So Far'iyya is dealing with ending combinations. Okay. Now, Al-Mahalliyu, what is inside it is Al-Asma al-Mabniya. All the Mabniya, they fall into this category. Then Al-Jumalu, Shibhul Jumalu, and Al-Masdarul Mu'abbal. Okay. So Mabniya, all the Mabniyas which do not decline in the 3 statuses, Rafa, Nasab, and Jar, they all fall into this category. Jumla, it could be Jumla Ismiya, Jumla Fi'liya. So it can come in place of Rafa, it can come in place of Nasab, in place of Jar. That time, how will you call such I'rab? You'll say fi mahalli raf'in, fi mahalli, all of these categories, whether it is mabni, jumla, shibu jumla, or masdar al-mu'abbal. How will you say that? Depending on the situation, you'll say fi mahalli raf'in, fi mahalli nasbin, fi mahalli jarrin. Okay, and here you will say in the asliya you will say the Alaamatul Ae'rab is al-dammatu, al-fathatu, al-kasratu. depending on that. Okay. And the same way, Fariya, you will say, depending on what, how the Arab is identified. Okay. And which you have already learned. Now, Taqdeeri. In Taqdeeri is the Maqsoor, Manqus, and Al Mudafu ila Ya al Mutakallimi. This is also very easy to remember. Maqsoor are those which end with alif maqsoora, or they end with alif, and a letter before that is having fatha over it. Manqus is those which end with letter ya and there is kasra before it. And mudafu ila ya al mutakallim. So any mudaf which is attached to ya mutakallim is also in the taqdeeri. Okay. So this is, keep this in mind. This chart is very important to have this Ae'rab. And last week, I took this example of which is from the book. I have retyped that, the whole chart. It shows the complete, with an example, both Asliya and Far'iyya. Okay. The Ae'rab al-Asliya and Far'iyya, which falls under the category of al-Zahiru. Okay. So Asliya and Far'iyya. Now here the author says that this amil, he mentioned amil is something that affects the noun or ism within a sentence. Okay, that's called amil. And in this column is those words which are belonging to Asliya category, and rest of them belong to Far'iyya category. So we have done this last time. Okay, I hope you remember it. So Ja al-abna wal-banatu wal-walidani wal-aqrabuna wa Ibrahimu wa akhuhu. So then you can identify how in the halat of Rafa the alamat is identified. So Alaamatul Rafi, in case of Asliya, it is Dhamma, and it is Jama Muannas Salim. It is ending combination. Atun, Atin, Atin. It is ending combination. But since it is Rafa, so you will say it ends with Dhamma, though it is in the category of Far'iyya. Okay. Muthanna, it is identified, Rafa is identified with Alif. Jama Muzakkar Salim, identified with letter Waw, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I believe I don't need to again take this, but just for your remembrance, for your reminder. And then these are Al-I'rab al-Taqdeeri. Okay, this is also, we did it last time. So when it comes to the first one, Ja'a Sadiqi wal Muhami wal Mustafa. So this is all belonging to different categories of Taqdeeri: Maqsoor, Manqus, and Mudafu ila Ya al-Mutakallimi. Okay. So here you will say Dhammatul Muqaddaratu, and in Halatul Rafa, in all the cases, you will say Dhammatul Muqaddaratu. But only in case of Manqus, which ends with Ya, and when it is in Halat of Nasab, then you will say Alamatul Nasbi is Fathatul Zahiratu. Okay, Al Fathatul Zahiratu. And we have taken such examples. Okay. So this is these were the Ae'rab charts. Now the author further gives ask you to make such examples, some similar charts. I want everyone to take these very seriously. Believe me, sometimes when you think that you are learning the language by understanding the concept, it is not sufficient, because language requires a lot of practice. And the good way is to practice by reading as well as writing. So I request all of you to please make similar chart, what you have seen previous two charts, for these words. So here, for example, the author says Hadar al-Abna'u, which belongs to Asliya category, wal banatu wal walidani wal aqrabuna wa Ibrahimu wa akhuhu. And also he's including here Taqdeeri wa Sadiqi wal Muhami wal Mustafa. Okay. So Hadara means the boy arrived. Okay. Hadara al-Abna'u means the boys arrived, or came, okay, hadara, or present. In the same way for mansub, you say da'utu ala bina'a, okay, and for majrul, ittas, it, ittasaltu bil abna'i. So in the same way, so I ittasaltu means I contacted the boys, okay. So make the similar charts with your pen or on computer. You will learn the practice of writing. By the way, I want to tell you something, that the exercises that that are in the on the website, the exercises that are on the website, you need, some of them requires you to type, okay. Some of them requires you to type, or you can if you can type in Arabic, well and good. If not, then you can write in transliteration using English alphabets, but in writing in Arabic. I mean, with Arabic writing in English words in transliteration. So you can do that. Okay, it's your choice. And but please attempt to use it. So you can do it. You'll be comfortable doing it on computer, on a PC, or if not on a pad, iPad, or whatever you have. Otherwise, you can do it also on mobile. It should be very easy. Okay. So this is the chart. Okay, some of these I would like to go with you, though these quizzes are available on the website, but I will go through some of them starting from exercise 6. Okay, so we are finishing the first part of lesson 1. And so 6 to 10, 6 to 9, I will go through with you. So here the author is asking, Hati mithalan lil maqsuri. So he's asking you to give examples of for maqsur. Okay, maqsur, which is belongs to taqdeeri category. Okay, waj'alhu fi ثلاث جمل على أن يكون مرفوعا في الأولى ومنصوبا في الثانية ومجرورا في الثالثة. Means what he's saying is, use the maqsoor noun in 3 sentences, making it marfu in the first, mansoob in the second, and majroor in the third. It's very simple, brothers and sisters. Now this is also there in the quiz. So you can write, for example, this is the first in the marfu form, ja al fata. Al fata is fa'il here, okay, and it belongs to taqdiri. So fa'il, how will you say? This is fa'ilun marfu'un wa alamatul raf'ihi al dammatul muqaddaratu, because it belongs to taqdiri. Okay, al dammatul muqaddaratu. So ja'a is fi'l and al-fata is fa'il. So this is an example of marfu'. Now you can write such an answer on the quiz in the Arabic by typing such letters, or you can say use the English letters JAA, something like that, Ja'a, and then you can say Al-Fata, ALFATA, something like that. Something that I should be, or whoever will be evaluating, they should be able to understand, so that the proper grading will be given to you. All these quizzes will be graded, and by the end of the course, you will be able to evaluate yourself how well did you perform in the quizzes. Okay, so some of the grading is done automatically. Immediately you will know how much you have scored, but some of the grading which requires you to type, and that will be done manually by the administrators. Okay, so this is the example of marfu'. Then the example of mansoob is ra'aytul af'a. Okay, I saw the snake. Ra'aytul af'a. Now this is fi'l fa'il. So this is maf'ul bihi. So this is in the status of nasab. So what is the alamat of nasab here? Al-fathatul muqaddaratu. Okay, because it is maksur. It is in all the three cases, it will be muqaddara in this case. And in the third example is ذهبت إلى المستشفى. Okay, I went to the hospital. This is also ending with alif maqsura. So this is majroor bi ila, because of ila. Okay, with ila. And it is the Alaamatul jarri. He is al kasratul muqaddarat. Is it clear, brothers and sisters? So this is 7. Again, here the author is asking you hati mithana lil manqus, exactly same thing, but here it is manqus. Okay, so manqus, give some examples for Rafa, Nasab, and Jar again. Ja al qadi. Ja al qadi, again, the qazi came, the judge came, qadi. Now, qadi is in the Rafa state because it is file. So how will you say that? It is the alamatul raf'i is al dammatul muqaddaratu. Okay? You can even say لأنه المنقوسي. Okay? لأنه اسم المنقوس. You can even say that. Okay? So this is what is the example of it being in the nasab's place will be رأيت المحامية. Here the with the manqus which ends with letter ya, then the alamat is shown, is visible. And this is in the nasab status. So how will you say that the alamatul nasbihi is al-fathatu dhahiratu? Because it is seen here. Fatha is visible here. You will not say al-fathatul muqaddaratu. You will say al-fathatul dhahiratu. Okay? And in the alamat of jar, ذهبت إلى الجاني. Okay, here it is majroor because of ila. So here you will say al-kasratul muqaddaratu. Okay, this is 7. Then number 8. Here hati mithalan lil manqusil mahdhufil ya'i. Okay, I explained to you last week that in what conditions, can anyone reply in chat? In what conditions do the ya is mahzuf, is omitted? The ya is omitted in case of manqus al asma. In what conditions? Okay, 3 things I have told you. One is when it is mansoob, when it is in the nasab state, then the ya cannot be omitted. Ya cannot be omitted when it is in the nasab state. Okay, when it is mudaf, then ya cannot be omitted. When it is mudaf, ya cannot be omitted. And when it is attached to al, alif and lam, ya cannot be omitted. So what are the 3 situations the ya can be omitted? When it is not attached to al lam. Okay, so when it is not mudaf, in the other words, when it is not mudaf, and when it is not mansoob, when it is not in the status of nasab. Is this clear, brothers and sisters? Some of the students came back to me and they said this was a confusing part of it. I explained to you in 2 different ways last week, so maybe that confused you, I'm not sure. But so here you have to give 3 examples of them, of the manqus which comes in Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. So you will say Ja'a Muhamin. Here I'm omitting it because it is not attached to al. So this is the lawyer came. So here, since it is nakira, I am not writing ya here, and ya is represented by what here? Tanween. Okay, it is represented by tanween here, which is coming below the letter mim, a letter before ya. Now, how will you write in the nasab state? In the nasab state, as I mentioned, that ya cannot be omitted. So here I will say sa'altu qadiyan. Sa'altu qadiyan. Ya has to be shown because it is in the nasab state. Then in the status of jar, then dhahaba qadin ila muhamin. Here also qadin is fa'il, ila muhamin is again this. So how will you say that? This is ismun majrurun wa alamatu jarrihi is al kasratu muqaddaratu bi hadafin ya'i. That's what you say, that it is the alamat of jar is the omitted kasra. Where omitted kasra? On the not omitted kasra, is the assumed or the kasra on the omitted ya. With the okay, so you are assuming that there is a kasra on the omitted ya. Okay. So hati mithalan lil mudafi ila ya al mutakallim. Okay, similar examples with those words which is having ya mutakallim attached to that. Okay, so ja'a zamili. This is zamil. Here is what? It is file. So it is alamatul rafi is al dammatul muqaddara. Correct? Ra'aytu jaddi. I saw my grandfather. Okay. Then sallamtu ala swadiqi. Swadiqi is, okay, my friend. Okay. So this is again, you can do this practice here. And some of the practices I will do it here. Okay, though you have quizzes there, but just some of the practices. Yuhibbullahu al-muttaqeen. Yuhibbullahu al-muttaqeen. Now here, yuhibbullahu, this is yuhibbu is fi'l. Fi'l al-mudari, Allahu is fa'il. Al-muttaqeen is maf'ul bihi. Al-muttaqeen. Now you need to describe for me. If you can describe in the chat quick enough to type it, please do so. So yuhibbul muttaqina, what? How will you describe the Ae'rab of this word in this sentence? Al muttaqina. So this is maf'ulun bihi. So it is maf'ul bihi means it is in the status of nasab. So it is mansubun. And what is the alamatul nasbihi? Alamatul nasbihi is al-ya'u muttaqina, because it is from jam'u muzakkar salim. So the alamatul nasbihi is letter ya'u. Al-ya'u li'annahu jam'ul muzakkar salimi. This is how you will say. Maf'ulun bihi mansubun wa alamatul nasbihi al-ya'u li'annahu jam'ul muzakkar salimi. Okay, لأنه جمع المذكر السالم. This is how you will say. Now the second one, خلق الله السماوات والأرض. Please describe for me as-samawat, which is again maf'ul here, and wal-arda, this is also maf'ul here. So how will you describe the alamat or the Ae'rab of as-samawat and al-ard? As-samawat is again, you'll say maf'ul bihi mansubun wa alamatun nasbihi. This is what they see jama muannas salim. So what is the jama muannas salim? This, though it is far'iyya, but what is the alamatun nasbihi? Is al-kasratu. It is al-kasratu, which is on the letter ta. لأنه جمع مؤنث سالم. Okay. مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الكسرة لأنه جمع المؤنث السالم. How will you describe والأرض? والأرض. Again, this is مفعول به منصوب Wa alamatul nasbihi is al-fathatu. Al-fathatu. And al-arda is from what? What category of nouns it is from? It is from mamnu' min as-sarf. Okay. So mudaf. So this ma'tuf ila samawat means it is ma'tuf to the samawat. So that's why it is mansub. Wa alamatu nasbihi al-fathatu li'annahu mamnu' min as-sarf. Okay. Iftah faka. Now faka is from asma'ul khamsati, from the five special isms. Now here iftah is again fi'l al-amr. So this is maf'ul. Faka means maf'ul. So how will you say maf'ul bihi mansubun wa alamatun nasbihi is al-alifu. Okay, al-alifu. لأنه من الأسماء الخمسة. Okay. So the أين سيارة أبيك. This is أبيك here is مضاف إليه for سيارة, and also it is مضاف, and also it is مضاف. So it is مضاف إليه to سيارة. So it is مجرور. So how will you say that? مضاف إليه مجرور وعلامة جره الياء لأنه من الأسماء الخمسة. لأنه من الأسماء الخمسة. Am I going very fast, brothers and sisters? If yes, then let me know, okay? Otherwise, I will proceed with the same speed, okay? Now, more examples. حفظت سورتين. I memorized the 2 chapters of Quran. حفظت سورتين. حفظت فعل فاعل. So this is again مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الياء لأنه مثنى. Okay, because it is from the duals. Okay, so now another example. أعرف قاضي مكة. أعرف, I know the Qazi of Makkah or the judge of Makkah. This is mudaf. And as I mentioned in manqus, the ya cannot be omitted because when it is mudaf. So here is the case of mudaf. So though there is no al to that, okay, still you will show that ya is there because it is coming as mudaf here. Qadiya Makkata. Okay. How will you describe qadiya here? Maf'ulun bihi mansubun wa alamatun nasbihi al-fathatu zahiratu. You are showing the fatha, fathatu zahiratu, li'annahu ismun manqusun. And also you can, what you can say, ثبتل actually, ثبتتل ya'u. Actually it is ثبتت. Okay, but there is also, I will say ثبتتل ya'u لأنه مضاف. Okay, means you will preserve the ya, okay, because it is mudaf. With the ya is shown here, is saved here because it is mudaf. How will you describe Makkata? Makkah is also mudaf ilayhi here. So mudafun ilayhi majrurun wa alamatu jarrihi al-fathatu li'annahu mamnu min as-sarf, because it is name of the city. So it is in the status of jar, it will be fatha. Clear? Kharajal jarha. Jarha means wounded, okay? Wounded, plural, okay? Min al mustashfa. So how will you describe jarha? It is fa'il. So you'll say fa'ilun marfu'un wa alamatul raf'ihi al-dammatul muqaddaratu li'annahu ismun maqsurun. It is from the ismun maqsurun because it ends with alif. Min al mustashfa, also it is ismun maqsurun and it is alamatul jarri is al kasratul muqaddaratu. So this is how you say ismun majrurun bi min wa alamatul jarrihi al kasratul muqaddaratu li'annahu ismun maqsurun. Okay, ismun maqsurun. So now few of them with the ya mutakallim. أخذ صديقي كتابي من حقيبتي. Okay. Now all the three forms have come of ya mutakallim. This is fa'il, this is maf'ul bihi, and this is majroor. حقيبتي. How will you describe صديقي here? فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة المقدرة لأنه مضاف إلى ياء المتكلم, because it is مضاف to ياء المتكلم. Now here also how will you say مفعول به منصوب for كتابي? How will you say وعلامة نصبه الفتحة المقدرة لأنه مضاف إلى ياء المتكلم. مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة المقدرة لأنه مضاف إلى ياء المتكلم. And من حقيبتي. So it is اسم مجرور بمن وعلامة جره الكسرة المقدرة لأنه مضاف إلى ياء المتكلم. Okay. So these are, and now one more last example. اشتريت هذا ب15 ريالا. Okay. So this is with harfu jar, but this is what? This is from the adad ma'dood, murakkab. And this is from the category of mabniyun. Okay. So how will you describe it? Fi mahalli jarrin, because it comes under mahalliyun. Zahiratun, mahalliyun, and taqdiri. Okay. So this is from the mahalli. Fi mahalli jarrin mabniyun ala al-fathati, because it is fatha on both the parts of the ala al-fathati. Ala al-fathatil juz'aini, on both the juz. There are two parts of murakkab and adad ma'dud, you know that. Okay. لأنه عدد مركب, because it is murakkab of adad, of the numbers. Okay. Oh, another one. أنا محامٍ. This is again khabar, and it is marfu'. So how will you say that? خبر مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة المقدرة على الياء المحذوفة. So where is the dhamma? On the ya mahdhuf, which is omitted. There is the dhamma. Okay. So these are some of the examples. Inshallah, now we will go to the new topic. Okay. We finished the first part of lesson 1. Take the quizzes seriously, brothers and sisters, and try to finish it. The quizzes are online, inshallah, today after the class, after 1 hour from the class. Okay. So what have you, okay, so let me tell you what are the Anwau al-Ae'rab. You know, kinds of Ae'rab is Rafa, Nasb, Jar. This is, again, this chapter is only dealing with Ae'rab. Chapter 1 is only dealing with Ae'rab. Okay, Rafa, Nasb, and Jar. And as you have seen, brothers and sisters, until now we are only talking about Ae'rab of Ism. We have not yet gone to the Ae'rab of Fi'l. It will be second part of this chapter, inshallah. So we are only talking about Ae'rab of Ism. Now, when we talk about Ae'rab, the first thing we talk about is Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. So let's talk about Marfuaat min al-Asma'i. Marfuaat. Marfuaat means what are the Marfuaat? Marfu means which are in the place of Rafa. So let's talk about Marfuaat min al-Asma'i. So the author have discussed some of the Marfuaat, though there are many, but he has discussed some of the marfu'at, and I'm only explaining you the marfu'at and the mansubat and the majrurat that the author have mentioned in his book. Okay, I'm only discussing those of them, and gradually they will, you will learn, you will know more of them. Okay, and most of them you already know, because right from book one we are talking about marfu, mansub, and majrur. So let's go through quickly what are the marfu'at of the isms, you know. So marfu'at min al-asma'i is, the first thing is, you know, is al-mubtada'u wal khabaru. You know that mubtada is marfu' in jumla ismiya, mubtada is marfu', and also khabar is marfu'. Also khabar is marfu'. So khabar can be one word, khabar can be shibhu jumla, khabar can be phrases, khabar can be jumla, but it will be in place of Rafa. It will be in place of Rafa. Okay, so khabar will be marfu, and mubtada is also marfu. Remember this, you know this. What is the example of that? Allahu Akbaru. Allah is the greatest. Allahu Akbaru. Allah is al mubtada, it is marfu. Akbaru, it is khabar, and it is marfu. So this is what we learned about jumla ismiya in book one. There are three parts of jumla ismiya: al mubtada'u, al khabaru, and mutalik bil khabar. This is a good revision for you, brothers and sisters. I'm not going to go into details, but just I'm showing this chart. You have seen it already. What is mubtada? Mubtada is the subject of the talk in jumla ismiya, and it is marfu'. And it is most of the time mubtada is ma'rifa. It is ma'rifa. Most of the time it is ma'rifa. What is al-khabaru? It is the information or the news about the mubtada, the information of the mubtada. Then it is mostly nakira, and it is marfu, and it could be jumla ismiya or jumla fi'liya. This is, and what is mutalik bil khabar? It is also actually something like khabar, but you call it as mutalik bil khabar. It is extra information of khabar, and it could be jarun majrurun, or it could be zarf also. Now this is what jumla ismiya you know about. Okay, so what is important to know is that both the parts of jumla ismiya, they are marfu'. So this is in the category of marfu'at. Allahu Akbaru is the example. So you know this already. What is the second category that you have done? Ismu Kaana. Ismu Kaana. And I've already taken this topic in previous books, Ismu Kaana. Just to recap, let's go through that again today. Just we will go through it quickly. This is an example of that. Kana al-babu maftuhan. Kana al-babu maftuhan. What is the meaning of this? The door was open. The door was open. Kana al-babu. Now if you see here, this is Ismu Kana, al-babu. And this is Khabru Kana. Maftuhan is Khabru Kana. Let me explain in short. Kana wa akhawatuha. So it is from the fi'lun naqisun. Fi'lun naqisun is something like incomplete verbs, defective verbs. Fi'lun naqisun. And such kinds of fi'l are usually called kana wa akhawatuha, kana and its sisters. Why it is denoted by kana? Because kana is widely used in such cases. Kana wa akhawatuha. Now usually, since it is fi'l, kana is a fi'l. Now when you talk about fi'l, usually if any sentence that begins with fi'l, then we call it as jumla fi'liya. Then we look for three things in that. What are the three things in the jumla fi'liya? We look for fi'l itself, then there is fa'il, the doer of the fi'l, And there is mutalik bil fail, something about more extra information about fail, about the action. Okay, this is normal jumla fi'liya. For example, jalasa rajulu ala al-kursiyi. Okay, the man sat on the chair. Jalasa is an action, it is fail. Or rajulu is fa'il. Ala al-kursi is mutalik bil fail. Okay, where did he sit? He sat on the chair. Now, this is the normal form of jumla fi'liya. But when it comes to kana, though it is failun naqis, it is in the category of fail, but the kana sentences are not jumla fi'liya. The kana sentences are not jumla fi'liya. Though they start with kana, which is fail, but they are not jumla fi'liya. Rather, they are jumla ismiya. Now, when you are talking about jumla ismiya, the first thing that comes to your mind is al-mubtada wal-khabar. Al-mubtada wal-khabar. So, when kana sentences are behave like jumla ismiya, that means there should be some mubtada in those sentences and there should be some khabar in those sentences. So, such sentences will behave in such a way that you will find mubtada, and mubtada is marfu. You will find that mubtada is marfu, but in kana sentences, the khabar is mansoob. In the kana sentences, the khabar is mansoob. That is exceptional. In the normal jumla ismiya, both mubtada is marfu, khabar is marfu. But in the kana sentences, the something like mubtada, we don't call it as mubtada, we call it as something else, which if you remember, okay, I will explain to you anyway now. So let's say there is an example, Allahu Ghafurur Rahimun. This is jumla ismiya. This is mubtada, Allah, and Ghafurun Rahimun is khabar. This is jumla ismiya. If I want to convert this into kana sentence, how will I do that? I will say Kana Allahu Ghafuran Rahiman. Kana Allahu Ghafuran Rahiman. Kana Allahu Ghafuran Rahima. That's how you will say normally, okay? So, Kana Allahu Ghafuran Rahima. The moment Kana came, which is failun naqis, this becomes, which was mubtada, is no more called mubtada, rather you will call it as Ismu Kaana. You will call it as Ismu Kaana, and Ismu Kaana is marfu. Ismu Kaana is marfu. Now, in the normal sentence, the khabar is marfu also, but this here, with the moment Kana came, this becomes the Khabaru Kana, and it is mansoob. It is in the status of nas. That's why you convert it into Ghafuran. In the same way, Rahiman. So this is Khabaru Kana. Another example, Kana rajulu Musliman. The man was a Muslim. Kana rajulu Muslim. Suppose someone died, so you are talking about him, so you say the man was a Muslim. Okay? Kana rajulu Musliman. Now this ar-rajulu is Ismu Kana. It is marfu. Musliman is Khabaru Kana. Okay? Musliman is Khabaru Kana. So what is the rule for the Kana sentences? Is Ismu Kana is always marfu. Ismu Kana is always marfu, and Khabaru Kana is always mansoob. And Khabaru Kana is always mansoob. Okay? And they behave like jumla ismiya. The Kana sentences, they behave like jumla ismiya. So here we are talking about, in this book, in this part of the book, we are talking about marfuat. So the author says that Ismu Kana is marfu'a, from the marfuat. Kana al-babu maftuhan. It is marfuat. So that's what the author is talking about here. Ismu Kana. Is this clear, brothers and sisters? Okay. What is the third category of marfuat? The third category of marfuat is Khabru Inna. Khabru Inna. Let's see an example of that. Inna Allah ghafurun. Inna Allah ghafurun. Indeed, Allah is forgiving. Inna. What is Inna is from what? Which huruf? Inna is from which huruf? It is from hurufun nasab. Okay? Hurufun nasbi wal ismuha. Okay? What are those hurufun nasab? Inna, anna, ka'anna, bi'anna, li'anna, lakinna, layta, la'alla. You learned this in soft classes. Okay, you learned this already. So these are the all the nasab huruf. Okay. And specifically, bi'anna is used in Quran, while li'anna is mostly used in the spoken Arabic. So these are these. So inna is from that, which means certainly, indeed, which means certainly, indeed. So, for example, Allahu ghafurun rahimun. That is the normal sentence. Jumla ismiya. The moment you give certainty to this sentence, so you will add inna to that. So when you add inna to that, how it behaves, it makes the mubtada mansoob. Inna Allah ghafurun rahim. So what is this called? Like in Kana, this was called Ismu Kana. Here it will be called Ismu Inna. And Ismu Inna in Inna sentences are mansoob. But Khabru Inna is marfu. Khabru Inna is marfu. Another example, Hamidun Talibun. If I want to say, indeed Hamid is a student, then how will I say? I will add inna to that and I will say it becomes inna hamidan talibun. So here this is ismu inna, which is mansoob, and khabaru inna is marfu. Talibun is marfu. Another example, al mudarrisu jadidun. If I add inna to that, then it becomes innal mudarrisa jadidun. Ismu inna is mansoob and khabaru inna is marfu. Another example, innal insana lafi khusrin. Innal insana, this is ismu inna. Lafi khusrin together is khabaru inna. It is in fi mahalli raf'in. Okay. So innal lil muttaqina mafaza. Now here this khabar muqaddam it is. Lil muttaqina is khabar. And mafazan is coming afterwards. Inna is working on mafazan, which is ismu inna. So these are some of the examples of ismu khabaru inna, and khabaru inna is marfu. This is from the marfuat category. Another one, so you are all aware about this file. Okay, file is khalaqana Allahu, khalaqana Allahu. Allah created us. Khalaqna is maf'ul bihi. It is attached to the khalaqa. And file is Allahu. So file is always marfu. So file is always marfu. So when there is a fail, there is always a file. You know that. That's a rule. When there is a fail, there is always a file. And file is the doer of fail. File is the doer of fail. So let's take an example of Madi kataba Hamidun. Hamid wrote. So kataba is fail and file is Hamidun. It is always marfu. In the mudari form, how will I say? Yaktubu Hamidun. Hamid writes. So this is kataba is fail and yaktubu is fail and file is Hamidun in both the cases. And it is marfu. So al-file is also from marfuat. Now there is Naibul file. Probably you are not aware about this. Maybe I spoke about that, but let's go into the details of Naibul file. It's very easy. As long as you know file, then you know Naibul file also. It's very easy to know. What is Naibul file? Let's see an example of that. خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ طِينٍ. خُلِقَ. Here I'm using majhul form. خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ طِينٍ. What is the meaning of that? This is indirect, okay? Majhul. Humans were created from clay or from the mud, okay? Humans were created from the clay. What is, so if you remember in the surf classes that I took, I mentioned to you that fail are of two kinds. Fail are ma'roof and majhul. Ma'roof and majhul. When it is ma'roof, then it is active, you know, that the doer is known. Okay, the doer is known. Ma'roof. Okay, active. The doer is known. In majhul, the doer is not known, which is passive, active and passive speech. Sorry. Active and passive speech in English, you say, right? So, ma'roof means active speech, majhul means passive speech. The doer is unknown. For example, if I say fa'ala, I am saying he did. So though there is the file is mustatir here, it is hidden here, but it is giving the sense of he. He means there is a doer here. So the doer is known, which is third person masculine. Okay. But when I say fu'ila, majhul form, passive form, then it was done. It was done. But who did it? It is unknown. The file is unknown here. It was done. That is majhul form. Okay. So when I say kataba, then he wrote, the file is known. And kutiba, then was written, the file is unknown. In the same way, if I say yaktubu, he writes, the file is known. Yuktabu, this majhul form, is being written, the file is unknown. Now, what is Naibul file? So you know that, okay? In the majhul form, the file is unknown. What is the Naibul file? So Naibul file when the file is anonymous, okay? So it comes with majhul. It comes with majhul. For example, I'm taking example. Ukila ka'katun. Ukila ka'katun. Ukila. Again, I'm using the majhul form of it. What does it means? Ukila means was eaten. It's Madi form. But Madi majhul form. So what is the meaning of that? A cake was eaten, but who ate it is not known. But the action was done. Ukila is the action. Action was done. And action was done on what? Action was done on cake. This is Naibul file. This is Naibul file. Who did the action? Is file, which is not applicable in majhul. But the action is done, and if the action is done on something, that is Naibul file. That's why when it comes to majhul, sometimes the action is done but not done on something. So there is missing majhul forms of some of them. So when we were practicing the abwab, you know, brothers and sisters, some of them do not have majhul form. Okay. There is no majhul form for some of the bab because those forms, the action is not done on something. So here action is done on ka'katun. This is Naibul file. So in this example, the fail ukila is majhul. The file is unknown and the action was done on ka'katun. So the thing to which action is done is called Naibul file. That's called Naibul file. So Naibul file, as you can see in this example, it is marfu. So Naibul file is also marfu. Naibul file is also marfu. So when you compare with the normal jumla fi'liya, or what do you see? That Naibul file is basically replacing the file in the majhul form. In the ma'ruf sentences, the file which is having ma'ruf, in that where the file position is occupied, Naibul file is taking that place in the majhul form. So file is there, is either not known, it is not mentioned, or it is deliberately omitted in the sentence. So that is Naibul file. Okay. Let's see some of the examples again. Kutibal kitabu. Kutibal kitabu. Kutiba is fi'lul majhul. It is majhul fi'l. Action was written. Kutiba means was written. What was written? Who wrote it? There is nothing mentioned here. What was written? Al-Kitab was written. What was written? Al-Kitab was written. So this is Naibul file. Al-Kitabu is Naibul file here. Is this clear, brothers and sisters? Al-Kitabu is Naibul file here. Okay. Another example. Nuzzifatil ghurfatu. Nuzzifat. Nuzzifat means this is again fell and was cleaned. The room, what was cleaned? Ghurfa was cleaned. The room was cleaned. Okay. Another example, Nuzifat hiya. Again, same thing. It was cleaned. Here it could refer to something. Okay. Feminine. Yadrusu, yudarrasu darsu fil madrasati. Yudarrasu means is taught. Means what is taught? The lesson is taught. Ad-darsu, the lesson is taught. Fil madrasati, in the school. So the lesson is the Naibul file. What is taught? Who taught is not mentioned here because it is in the majhul form. Yudarrasu. This is from which bab? Who can say that? Qaddara yuqaddiru. Okay. Qaddara yuqaddiru. So this is majhul form of that. Yuqaddiru. Yudarrasu. Majhul form of that. Okay. يشترى الطعام من السوق. يشترى الطعام من السوق. The food is bought from the market. What is bought? The food is bought. On which action was taken? Who bought it is not mentioned here. Is unknown here. Okay? That file is unknown. This is Naibul file. So this is also marfu. Same thing in this example. Khuliqa al-insanu. Was created. Khuliqa was created. Who was created? Al-insan. Humans were created. Who created is not mentioned here. Khuliqa al-insan. Okay. So this is another from the marfuat. So here we finished the marfuat that the author explained in his book. There are few more marfuat. Inshallah, we will be talking about them also after we finish the categorization of the marfuat and mansubat and majrurat by the author, and then we will talk about some of them, some extra ones also, inshallah. Okay, so today the time is up. I think it's only 1 minute left, but I do not want to go to the topic of mansubat because it's a topic by itself. So inshallah we will continue tomorrow, but do not forget to solve the quiz. You will have 1 week to solve the quiz, brothers and sisters. After 1 hour, the quiz will be released. Do not forget to solve the quiz. You have 1 week. You read it, look at the slide, look at the videos in the fast speed. If you want to see anything, any doubt, read the book and solve the quiz. I want you to evaluate yourself, see what kind of grading you will get it. Okay, and do it faithfully, brothers and sisters. The link to the website is mentioned in YouTube chat, so you can click on that link, and you can register as whoever has not registered, and then you can enroll to the course. Okay. So jazakumullahu khairan. Inshallah, see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.